This is the home screen when we first log into Canva. This might look familiar to some users who've previously used Canva in the past. For those who've never used Canva, this is exactly what it will look like. If you have previously used it though, you will notice that the enterprise environment is quite different than what you're probably used to. So it's still worth kind of paying attention here. Now, when you first get logged in, if you are one of these people who has an existing account, you'll notice that when you join the team, you'll be prompted to switch between your different teams here. So you might have a team that says like Vinova's account, personal account, any other account that pre-existed to joining this team, and you'll just be able to swap between them. So you'll want to make sure you're in the first T team. You can do this up in this left-hand corner with the drop-down box. You can also do this here in the upper right-hand side. You can switch between your teams this way. As long as you see first T under the word team in this left-hand corner, you're in good shape. So switching between teams, just pop into this tab, pick which team you're in. If I needed to switch, you just select it. Whatever's on your drop-down list, you are still in. You're not losing anything. Nothing's disappearing. All that we're doing is migrating to the first T team space. This is where all of our collateral lives. This is where we're going to find all of our content. This is the area that you'll want to work in. Now, if you've never logged into Canva before, you're just in this one team. You're not going to see options to switch because there isn't an existing team to switch to. You're in the right place. You'll see the first T sign here and you're good to go. Now, when you are in this first T area, you'll see a couple of tabs here that will go through just to let you know what they do. But really, there's nothing that needs to be done, set up, or changed by y'all. You'll notice in the brand kits, for example, we've got our sample logos, we've got our different color hues, we have the different palettes, the fonts are set up. All of this has already been done by your admins. Pop in here, take a peek if you'd like to kind of familiarize yourself with any of those color palettes, but that is already set up, already good to go. You guys can use that moving forward. People and groups, same exact thing. This is just already set up by the team. It is more information for you to have. One good use of this people tab would be, for example, to see who your administrators are, who your template designers are, see who else is part of your team who might not be. Right now, we can see that all of these folks are in our team, working in our space, people I can collaborate with within this team environment. But really where you'll first want to navigate to, what you should consider your home page where all your designs in Canva will start, is under this folders tab. Now, this folders tab is organized in such a way where you will find all of the resources to start a design in Canva. You'll see here with the brand building assets, we've got a bunch of different patterns that you'd be able to use, the PNG versions of these, things that you can use in different backgrounds, stock images that the team has already uploaded for you to jump in and use within the designs. School program images are in here, silhouette images. Pop through all of these assets, familiarize yourself with what is here, where you can find it. These are all going to be available to you in your designs. Now, if at any point there's collateral in here that you feel like is missing, don't panic. You'll be able to upload that stuff in later. Again, just let your admins know if there's more assets that you need that you know exist that aren't here quite yet. This is just a starting point. So as soon as we're good collecting all that, you will find it all in Canva under the Assets tab. Now, as far as some of these other folders go, advertising, operations, and fundraising are going to be the different categories you will find templates in. Templates are going to be the design that you will want to start with to customize to bring on your own chapter. So if we go to, for example, operations, and we needed for our chapter different coach recruitment content. I'll jump into coach recruitment. I can see here I've got a recruitment flyer. Hitting that flyer will just open it up for me. Take a quick peek through here. If I like it, I hit use template and it makes a copy of that exact template for me. So this is my copy. I'm not messing with Christian's original version. We can open this a million different times and get a million different copies of it. That's exactly what we want to see here. Now, the first thing I always encourage people to do is to actually rename their project, Because it is a copy, that's exactly how Canva will navigate it. But you can jump in here and navigate this to, I don't know, let's say April 2022 for Northern Kentucky. This upper tab here is going to be where you rename that. It'll also be where you can check to make sure that your design is saving. Canva is always auto-saving in the background. Keep that in mind. But this is where you will see all of that more administrative stuff that you can do with the design. The left-hand column over here is where you will see more of that creative stuff that you can do with the design. Some of that collateral includes pulling in different stock images from Canva. You guys have access to this entire library. You can upload your own images into Canva. Here you see I've uploaded a photo of my dog. But if you remember earlier, we were looking at those folders. We have a bunch of assets already for you. You'll jump into the folders, find it under the ones shared with you. We saw them earlier about brand building assets. Here are our images. And all I'm doing is dragging and dropping these images into the space provided. You'll see here I can do the same thing with the school program photos. All I'm doing is dragging and dropping. If at any point any of these photos look misaligned to you in such a way, this girl gets kind of cut off here. You know, maybe I want this gentleman to be in the screen a little more. Double clicking any of them will let you reposition any of these photos within those spaces. I can make this image bigger if I'd really like to zoom in. I could do the same thing here. Double clicking any of these images will allow you to edit them in the space that you've got. Now that same concept is going to be true for text boxes. This is where you will be able to double click on any text box. And this way you can edit it. So in this case, we see a phone number, throw in a different number, edit this to our email address, go through here, make sure that all of these text boxes that I can edit look okay. And then you'll notice here that I also have the capacity to change my logo. Now this is the sample logo that we saw earlier. I would be able to upload my own logo or find my logo under our chapters folders. So you'll notice that when we are going through the different folders here, there is this one other folder called First T Chapters. These folders are individual to you and your specific chapter. So you will have access to your chapters folder. You'll be able to upload your own imagery into those folders. You'd be able to save your designs into them. You can save your different assets. If I go into Southeast Wisconsin, you'll see all my different logos are uploaded in here already. So when I'm in this design, if this is for that team, just navigating to my folders again, finding it in that folder structure, and dragging and dropping my logo in. Now you'll notice that as I'm pulling up these folders, they are populating in this left-hand column with the rest of my design tools. It does that so that you can easily access these later on. If for whatever reason this gets too crowded, I don't like it, feel free to exit out of any of these as you need to. You can always go back to your folders. As long as you've got access to these, you can always move your collateral back in. Now, a couple of things when you are ready to finish your design, you want some eyes on your design, you feel good about this, you can either work with the rest of your team by commenting on it. A comment will allow anybody on your team, let's say in this case, I'm working with Austin, to have a conversation with. So do we like this photo? I can either let him edit my design or comment on my design. But this is one way that I'd be able to collaborate with the team. I've now invited him to work on this design with me. Alternatively, with this plus sign here at the top, I can share with specific people on my team. I could share with Bill, Brittany, Megan. I could select users from here and invite them in. So I could say Christian gets to edit my design. Hey, can you take a look? Or I could also share my design with these links. So right now, if I use this link where anyone added can access, these are the only folks who can access it. If I'd like to share with the link, Notice that you have 3 different options here: can view, can comment, or can edit. Can view gives people just the design. They don't have access to the Canva edit screen. If you give folks edit comment access instead, they will actually be able to jump into the design and comment on it and collaborate with you that way. Edit will literally take them to the exact screen we see here, where they can collaborate with you simultaneously. If Austin wanted to dive in and change the photo, I would see it. If Christian wanted to dive in and change like the color background here, the logo herself, I would see it. So you have a couple of options with how you can share this design within your team or publicly with people outside of your team. Now, do note that if you're sharing with people outside of your team, they are not going to have access to the same content that your team has access to. You can share your design, but they won't have the same access to the different collateral. Sharing with people on your team is going to ensure that you've got the right folks who have the right branding and the right assets and the right brand restrictions ready and good to go, so that everything is solid, on brand, and following those guidelines. Now, once you've got this done, you've collaborated with all the folks who need the collaboration, you are good with this design, you have renamed it, it's solid, you've edited it, you're set. This is when you would be able to download, export, or publish it out of Canva. So over here, you can see under the share button, these are all the folks I shared it with earlier. I see the same links to be able to share it out this way. If I'm good, I don't need to share it, I'm ready, I can go to this download tool here. This is what people use about 90% of the time in Canva. You'll see here you can select the different file type. Canva is suggesting PDF print because this is a flyer shape. It's got some image quality on it. You don't need to select that option. You absolutely could download it as any of these other file types if those work better for you. I do suggest PDF print for something like this. If you're printing with like a local printer in-house, if you need to change your color space, if you need to add crops or bleeds, you can do all of that within this screen. When you do go to these download options, when you are ready, hitting that download button is going to take this onto your desktop, into your browser, and now it's been exported out of Canva and you can pull it up that way. So you can see here, this is the PDF. I printed it with my crops and bleeds, so we're noticing those in the corners, and this is what I can use from here on out. If at any point I was not done with this design, I am still working on this design. I was showing you earlier how you can auto save your designs here. Canva is saving things in the background. At no point did I go to save this, but if I go into all your projects, here's the one I was just working on. I can always go back to this. I can edit my design. I can move my design. I can always find whatever I'm looking for under your projects. Now that's important to note because you will want to move these projects into your team's folder. So this folder that we were looking at earlier for our different chapters, not only will you have access to your different content in here, such as your logos or your images, you'll be able to move your designs there as well. So you can see here, I already have moved these into the Southeast Wisconsin folders. To move this one, hit the little ellipses, move to folder, same exact place we were looking earlier, folder share with me. Here we are, add to folder. Now I could have also done that by going to File, Save to Folder here within the design screen. So it is entirely up to you. If you exit out and you forget, you can always go back. So don't panic if you forget to save your design. You can always go back to save it. Now, once I've got some of these designs in here, if this starts to look a little crowded, if this gets a little busy, what you will be able to do here is create your own folders within your space as well. So here I am seeing some stuff that is very specific to the holidays. If I need to, here I am in my folder. This plus sign here is where I would be able to upload collateral to my folders. So I could upload different images, or I could add a different folder. This is where I'd be able to manipulate the folder itself, the content in the folder. Let's add a new folder. I'll call this holiday campaign. Here's my folder. And just like we were doing earlier, I can grab these and move them, or I could hit the ellipses to move them one by one. So take these, move to folder, The one I just made lives under First T chapters, Southeast Wisconsin, holiday campaign. There they go. And now they're here. If you wanted to upload images, same exact way. Here's my folder that I just made. Go to upload. And here's some pictures of my dog I'm putting in. You guys are responsible for your chapter's folders, so feel free to organize this in whatever fashion would make the most sense to you. Your logos should be in here. That way you can access them when you are making those designs. You're going to be able to replace those sample ones that you will see in all of the different templates that the team's provided for you. That'll be an easy way for everyone to access it. But if you do have other content, other collateral, any completed designs that you need to organize, this is exactly how you would go ahead and do it. You can always go back, rename it, move it, delete it, whatever you need from here on out, but you will have access to your team's folders. Now, those folders that are being made live in this team space. You may at that time also realize that you have other collateral that's in Canva and not yet in this team space. If that is the case, I will show you in just a second how to migrate that content in. Once you bring that content into the First T team environment, you'll want to, once again, move it into the appropriate folders. So let's say that I've built a design way back when, and it lives, let's see, in this other team space I've got. Here's an example environment. For you, this might say personal, it might say Christian's team, it might say Austin's team. Pick your design from here. Go to the same share settings we were looking at earlier, and you're going to want to get the link to edit. So here's anyone with the link can edit. Once you get that link, go back to the First T team and open the design there. What that's going to do is it's now going to let you access the design from your original team, from your personal team, from your account in the First T team. So I just jumped back into First T. You can see here that this design existed in my example account, in my personal account. That is the owner of this design, but I'm currently logged into my First T team. Now, what I would do at this point is go to File, Make a Copy. What that does is it ensures that I am the owner of this design now within the First T team space. Now I've basically duplicated my design. This is the original one. It lives in that example environment. If I needed this to say Happy Father's Day instead, this copy is not changing. This one still says Happy Mother's Day. This one says Happy Father's Day. This original design, I never have to go back to. It could live there. I could delete it. I could sunset the entire account. It wouldn't matter. The copy that I've made in the First T environment, that is my version. I own it. I am able to manipulate it, move it, access it from here. Once again, you will find it under your projects. Take that design, move it into your folder. Now, if this process was a little bit confusing, don't panic. We've got a bunch of collateral to support you in how to do it. What I will say is that when you are going through this migrating process, if there are things that you need to pull in, it may be worth pulling up an Excel doc, a spreadsheet, something where you can start in one team, in your original team, get all those appropriate links, and then migrate back to the First T team. That way you're not switching between two accounts the entire time. It might also help to have one browser incognito and one browser from Canva. It is a non-deterministic system. You can't be logged into two teams, two accounts at a time. So you will want to start with getting all the links that you need from the original environment first, and then migrating them over and opening them in the First T team. Now, when we go through the rest of these templates here, you will notice they function the exact same way. So you can see here under fundraising, we've got some templates here as well. Same exact thing. Once we are ready, open up the template, edit what needs to be edited, update your different logos, pull those in from the folders that you're accessing frequently, either the ones that will already be pulled up, or you can always go back and search for them here. Edit the content the way that you need to, collaborate with anyone that you need to. And then once you are good to go, download, share, save. If when you're going through here, there are any questions on the different templates available, there's anything that you would need access to, just let your admins know. Again, you can find them through the People's tab. However, if there are any questions about anything a little bit more technical, you're running into any issues at all, you can always access our Canva team with this purple little help button down here. They will be your go-to for any kind of more technical questions you've got. This will also give you access to our support team. So if I did have questions about like downloading, it's an easy search tool. You'd be able to find answers here, but you'll also be able to actually talk to our security team by going to fix a problem or visit our help center. You guys do have this enterprise subscription model, so you do skip the queue. You guys take priority there. If you are running into any kind of technical problems, they will be your best friends. If you want a little bit more training, a little bit more support in getting familiar with Canva, the design screen itself, bringing those images in, changing those texts, the Learn tab over here will take you to our design school. That includes all of the different tutorials we have. They are super easy, digestible videos, 1 to 5 minutes each. The getting started one is a great one. I would also suggest designing with Canva if you're a little bit unfamiliar with kind of that drag and drop process, you want to really understand what's going on there. This is a great place to start, but I truly suggest logging into that team space, picking one of these templates that the team has already created, already provided for you, and going through to edit these.